Hello everyone, it is Greninja here, and today we're here for another episode of how to build a battle perfect Pokemon. Now, this wasn't originally going to be a series, but since the first video of how to make a perfect battle bond Greninja got over 1,000 views, which I still don't know how it got that many views because it was poorly made, I decided to make an episode 2 version of this. So, yeah. This is how to make a BP Xerneas. So Xerneas is actually a very good mon. It's in Ubers for a reason. It is such a versatile fairy type mon. It can learn Focus Blast, Hidden Power Fire, Thunder, Grass Knot. Like, it can learn a ton of moves. Not to mention it can learn Defog, which is always useful in the Uber metagame, which has like tons of stealth rock users from like Groudon and such. Xerneas, my Xerneas nature is modest. You can run timid, which is basically the same thing as modest, except it doesn't up a special attack, it ups speed. But I go with modest because I don't have the item on me right now. Let me just quickly show you what it is. It's called if I can find it, it's called a Power Herb. Power Herbs basically it let you skip a turn for any charging moves like Solar Beam, which if without like something like Groudon's Desolate Land, which basically, or Drought, which basically radiates sunlight down onto the battlefield, it takes a turn to charge. But with Power Herb, you can just skip that. And the reason why you want a Power Herb on Xerneas is because on my set you can get a move called Geomancy, which it takes one turn to charge, but when it's done charging, it raises its special attack, special defense, and speed. That's OP. Now, I know what you guys are saying. Oh, but Edward, you can use a Z Geomancy. Well, I will say yes, it is a viable option, and it's actually really great. But, however, that Z move can be used on something else, and while this Geomancy set only needs to use an item, that has to use a Z Crystal. So if you got any other Pokemon that uses a Z Crystal, like let's say Groudon, which don't even use Groudon without Red Orb unless it's like a special clause in tournament. Like that guy has such a high attack stat that a Z Crystal will be better on him. Besides, sure it's a +3 to everything, but just the Geomancy by itself lets it outspeed everything, since, if you run a timid nature with this, you're basically going to be outspeeding everything. Now, the IVs on this is basically simple. You want everything, to be 31, except attack IVs. The reason why is because Xerneas' attack IVs is so bad that it's not even worth mentioning. While its special attack is, oh my god, it's hella insane. Anyway, the EVs I'm running with this is kind of weird. Because a lot of counters rely on physical steel moves or poison moves like, let's say, Bullet Punch, Meteor Mash. You also got poison type moves like Poison Jab. And I think Venom Shock is a physical type move. That's why I put a bunch into defense EVs. Speed EVs 90. You guys might be wondering why I put like 90 in speed EVs, not like 252. It's because with the Geomancy that ups its speed, it doesn't really matter if you have the speed EVs if you manage to pull it off. And you can't, if you can't, you really shouldn't be using Geomancy Xerneas because you should be like taking down its counters and checks. That's why I want to put 90 and 252 in special attack EVs, obviously, because this is supposed to be a Wall Breaker Xerneas. The moves I have on this is Defog, Thunderbolt, Geomancy, and Moonblast. You don't need Defog on this if you have like a really good like Defog or a Rapid Spinner on your team. But I put it on here because my Uber's team don't have a Defogger, a reliable one anyway. For next move, I put Thunderbolt for coverage. Like, what Moonblast can't cover, let's say like Steel types, Poison. I have no idea if Poison resists Fairy, but let's say it does. Thunderbolt can reliably, like, do some damage to poison types. Metal types not much, but there's another reason why I put Thunderbolt on this. Kyogre. Kyogre is such a beast on the battlefield that I actually purposely made Thunderbolt. I purposely put Thunderbolt on Xerneas on because of Kyogre. There is a bunch of other mons like Tornadus that can be countered, but mostly Thunderbolt's there for coverage on Kyogre. Geomancy, basically obvious to make it basically a god tier special like a sweeper. Moonblast is also obvious because of its ability, Fairy Aura, which powers up each Pokemon's Fairy type moves. That is OP because not only does this guy stab, which is 1.5 times, but this also increases it by 1.5 times, making it basically either have double or 1.75 times the normal damage output, which is insanely good. Even if you resist, you can still get like 0.75% damage or 9, which is still insane. A few other options you can have on Xerneas. You could run a Choice Scarf for Xerneas if you feel like that Xerneas' special attack is already fast enough and you don't want to waste a turn using Geomancy. Farium Z for Geomancy is also a viable option if you think that you don't need a Z move on like any other Pokemon. In my opinion, that isn't a really good choice because if you have like 2 Z Crystal Pokemon on your team, which it isn't as bad as you think. It makes your opponent have to think like which Pokemon's going to use which Z Crystal, because if you have like 2 wildly varying Z moves, you can basically make it so that the other opponent doesn't have a check. Anyway, without me rambling on, another set that I've seen was Choice Specs, which basically doubles 1.5 times the special attack. It is a good move, but Xerneas' speed is a flat 100 modifier. Let me check quickly. Yeah, it's a flat 99 modifier, or speed stat flat. So I would recommend using either Choice Scarf or the Power Herb version, which I'm using right now. For the moves, you don't necessarily need Defog or Thunderbolt. I would recommend keeping Moonblast because it's such a powerful move with Fairy Aura and its stab. But for the other Pokemon, you can have, let's say, I'm trying to look right here. You can have, it has so many coverage moves, okay? This is overpowered. It can have Focus Blast, Thunder. I use Thunderbolt because of its accuracy, 90 accuracy is basically 50 accuracy. Grass Knot. I believe there's other moves you can use, you also get a bunch of hidden powers. Oh, and you can use Aromatherapy, which, in a last case scenario, where, if your opponent has, an annoying toxic stall user, you can just use Aromatherapy to heal your whole team. Sort of like Heal Bell. Another thing you could run is Hidden Power Fire to get rid of those nasty, Fire type mons and Steel type mons, but I wouldn't really recommend it. Focus Blast is such a better move. You could run a Rest and Sleep Talk version, but to be honest, defensive is kinda weird to use because, yeah, it has Rest, but if you don't have Sleep Talk, you put Aromatherapy or Toxic on it instead, you could be in massive trouble, and easily a Pokemon like Mega Metagross could actually just swallow you, so I wouldn't recommend using defensive. It also knows Ingrain, which I will admit is good, because it heals 1/16 max HP per turn. But at the same time, you could use that move like anything else, because you cannot switch when you use this move. Literally, either you die when you use the move, or you kill the other Pokemon. And I would recommend just not running Ingrain, because if you're playing in Ubers, your opponent's going to have so many counters to Xerneas, because it is such a massive threat. Now, this is it for my guy. If you think what I said wasn't true, or a specific set that I kind of rambled about wasn't justifying, please leave them down in the comments below so that I can so that I can actually see what I did wrong. Remember, I'm still a guy that's growing. I'm still trying to understand how Pokemon work, what Pokemon to use, what types of moves to use in certain situations. So, if you do feel like what I said wasn't true, please leave that note in the comments. After all, I am still just a kid. I'll see you guys in the next time. Goodbye!